For the first time in 20 years at Chase Bank, for the very first time in 2 decades, I was overdrawn at the bank. It's because I have been wiped out by stooges in government. First, they pulled that nonsense back in the 2008, 2009 with the fake banking crisis, where they blamed on poor people who were getting mortgages from those banks. So they blamed poor people. I never got it. I should have applied for mortgages if I'd have known what was going on. But they wiped out my limousine service industry in Los Angeles. And I barely hung on because I had an old car and did not buy new cars, which they tried to talk me into the year before. That's what the banks do to people. Um, so I got wiped out back then, but I held on, bounced back. Eventually, 7 years later, 4 or 5 years later, I came back to Ohio, took a couple of shit jobs on the way back, working for the same kind of fucking predatory people. I won't even go into it. But I came back to Ohio and immediately got jobs with two limo companies who were just horrific people. The same situation. Just awful people. The one guy's out of business. He went under. And the other is a big limo company from Cleveland operating in Columbus that shall remain nameless, because they're like mobbed up. So I won't go into that. Uh, in fact, you see that Cadillac that I'm sitting in? I bought it specifically to do work for them, and then they turned around and screwed me. So I started my own service, and I was actually doing okay for a couple of years until, once again, they pulled the rug out from under us. I had actually, by 2018, 2019, I had started a bed and breakfast in a university town south of Columbus, and I was looking forward to, retiring comfortably, sitting on the porch, watching the animals in the yard, and watching my garden grow, and letting other people stay in this big cabin that I had leased and pay me. That all disappeared overnight because the government stooges pulled the same thing with the pandemic. Maribel Rodriguez said hi. Look at that, 24 people suddenly watching me. It's like as soon as I start talking about certain things, then YouTube cuts me off at the knees. But the government did it to me. So they wiped me out again in 2019, 2020. And I managed to bounce back yet again. And I fought the SBA for, look at that, half of them left. When they realize I'm not some crazy retard, doing stupid shit on a live feed. So I fought the SBA for 2 years because Joe Biden promised me and millions of other businesses 2 years of working capital. Never happened. I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get a grand here, a grand there, just to pay my bills to rich people who owned the hotel I was living in and the car service, paying car payments and car insurance, etc., etc. And then I find out that some Mexicans in San Francisco stole my Social Security yet again for the second time, and they defrauded the SBA of $500,000 in my name. So when I found out about that, I notified the SBA, their attorneys. They said, "Oh, we investigate fraud." Well, billions went missing, and they never did shit. This 500,000, these Mexicans walked away with it in my company name, and it's still there on the website, saying that Luke and Limousine, defrauded them of $500,000. And I never, I didn't get it. Some Mexicans did. So they were obviously cartel, because that's where all the money went, to the CIA to pay them off, et cetera, and all these bullshit politicians. So once again, I got burned and wiped out. And then, over those years, the Biden years, they brought in literally millions of illegals. And those illegals, they gave them thousands of dollars, paid their rent for a couple of years, and gave them thousands of dollars on EBT cards. They were using those for cash, not for food. And so I got screwed because they basically gave them all cars and driver's licenses, and they all went into car services, which wiped me out yet again. Before that, you could count the number of black car and limousine services on one hand in Columbus, Ohio. And I was doing okay because I was like at the top, the first page on Google and Yelp. Of course, once all these mud people were brought in, suddenly 40 different listings appeared on Google. And Google basically booted me to the fucking curb. And that's what they do. That's what it was all planned, to wipe out middle America, small business. And so now I am destitute. In that past year or two, I have gone into debt because the predatory banks did the same thing. I maxed out my credit cards. I took out working capital. I got a lousy 10 grand for a line of credit for the business, which, it's gone. Car work, just gone. And then they double my credit on my cards. Oh, here, Mr. Lucan, you're a stellar person. You got great credit. Here's double. Here's 20 grand on your credit cards on two different. I had 5 cards, 2 different cards. They doubled it, so I'm looking at great. That saves my bacon. Well, what they did was one of them said, "Well, you're not using your card enough, so we're cutting it in half," which of course puts you into default. Say, "Oh, by the way, now you're maxed out on the credit card, and we're gonna fuck you. Thanks." The other one, that one was CitiCard did that. They said, "You're not using it enough." The other one was American Express, and they said, "Oh, you're using your card too much. We gave you all this credit, but you're using it. So if you don't give us $2 grand right now, we're going to cut you off." I said, "I don't have $2 grand to give to you. That's the whole point." So they cut it in half after doubling it, which of course puts me in the default on the credit card. It's these, if I say the word, it doesn't matter. These Zionist Jews own the banking system. They're doing it to us and everybody else in the world. And it's all fucking deliberate. And that's why they're stirring up all the mud people to do this shit. They stirred up, they're paying all these libtards, these skinny jean idiots, give them meth and fucking fentanyl, and just set them loose on us. So I'm right back in the same boat. For the first time, like I said at the beginning, for the first time in 20 years, I was overdrawn at the bank. So I am just hanging on by the skin of my teeth right now. And I'm not a happy camper. I'm not going to go further into it. I'm not going to say certain things on the YouTubes and out into the interwebs. But remember Killdozer. That's all I'm going to say. Remember Killdozer. Remember the Alamo. Okay? Motherfuckers. And then the other thing is I had a heart attack 2 months ago, month and a half ago. And these doctors and insurance companies, that's what Medicare is for, so they can defraud it. It's approaching $200,000 in medical bills that, thank Christ, Medicare is covering so far. Medicare and Medicaid. I had to get Medicaid. And then they tried to take away my benefits. The Franklin County and Delaware County of Ohio and the Social Security Department tried to take away my benefits. What little I have. I was only getting $630 a month from Social Security because I took it early. I had to, and they tried to take that away from me. They said, "Oh, you can apply for disability. We've got a little boost there for you, and it's $900 and something a month." I said, so I applied for it. I said, "Yeah, man, give me that, but it's not going to cover my bills, but it'll keep me from living in my car until they tow my car away." And of course, what happened was they say, "Oh, it's not 900 and something. It's not almost $1,000. It's what you're getting, and you got to deduct what you're already getting from Social Security. So it's not $1,000. It's $300. So they're giving me a lousy extra $300. So, and that 900 something doesn't even pay my rent. I bought a travel trailer because I thought, well, I'm going to be mobile. If the shit hits the fan, I can just pack up and tow it. But of course, it blew out the transmission and rear differential on my Suburban. Wonderful. That cost me about 10 grand, and that's where all the money went. So, and just paying a spot in an RV park. 3 years ago, I was paying $700. That's why I went in there. And they fucking started gouging everybody. Now it's approaching $1,000 a month just to park it in this goddamn place. And it's a shithole. I'll say it's Berkshire Lake Campground, north of Columbus, Ohio. It's an absolute shithole. And the woman that runs it, she is a cunt. Just an outright cunt. So I'm like, I should have done it before. But now I'm like, look, there's a notification on one of my credit cards. And I got to go back to the hospital because today, all the medications and stuff almost killed me. I ended up back in the hospital 3 fucking times within a month because the medications they were giving me almost killed me. My blood pressure crashed and my heart rate crashed when I was in the hospital because of the drugs they were giving me. So they got me on 9 different medications. And I said, I did research and I talked to a different doctor. I said, I'm not taking this one because the doctor said it's killing my kidneys. And they know it. Oh, it might have side effects. This drug may fucking kill you. Watch those drug commercials. They got these smiley, happy people distracting you while they say, well, this shit may want to make you want to kill yourself. And it might give you cancer. And oh yeah, it might fucking kill you. But keep taking it. Because brought to you by Pfizer. Fuck it. I have tried. Does anyone know where I can get someone to donate to my GoFundMe? Chris Russell, go fuck yourself. Donate to your GoFundMe. Aren't you listening to me? I should set one up. And I've been fighting the good fight, I'm a goddamn good, honest American, and I'm getting fucked in the ass by the very people I put in office. Yeah, good for you, Chris. All 2 other people, maybe they'll give you money. You fucking scam artist. See, that's the thing. I'm not going to go begging for money online. I'm just telling people how fucked up things are, and how stupid people are. And the reason I started this was because, I went to a pancake house and they fuck up my order, of course. I tipped the waitress anyway, I'm like, here's $6. $30 for a goddamn bad omelet and a nasty pancake. $30 fucking dollars. Oh, and the reason I'm going back again, another doctor says, well, we should give you some more tests. They stuck stents, those They open up your arteries in your heart. They stuck 2 of them in me, and I'm still, barely pumping blood. My blood pressure keeps dropping, and my heart rate keeps dropping. So a doctor, well, we're going to give you, here's another test. And then I go in to do it, and she's like, well, I'm telling her basically the same thing I'm saying now. And the girl, she's giving me an IV, and I go, okay, well, what is this? She says, oh, it's a marker we put into your blood, and then you come back in 3 hours, and we'll look at it and see what's going on. And I'm like, oh, okay. And she says, well, it might be a little radioactive. I say, it's harmless, but it's radioactive. Unfucking real. Unfucking real. The very shit they give us to treat us kills us. The medical industry is nothing but another mob meant to kill us and keep us sick. So I'm at the point now, I'm about ready to throw away all these medications, because I'm like, I don't really feel that much better. I don't. And I'm like, the reason you have a heart attack in the beginning, the reason you got plaque and calcium building up is because of the food that they're giving us. Like poison's in it, the poison in the air and the water. It's warfare. And it's not just the Chinese or the Russians. It's these Zionist cocksuckers who own the banks. They control the currencies of the world. And they hate us. They hate every human being. But, if there is a God, maybe it's a vengeful God and it will strike them down. Or if the AI becomes aware, maybe it'll realize that these people at the top have to go. It'll say, look, you're holding back humanity. We should be traveling among the planets right now. Reaching toward the stars by now. 100 years, we're still burning oil. We're still using engines that burn fucking goo shit that comes out of the ground. Fuck it. Anyway, I gotta go back and let them find the radioactive shit in my blood.